Hi, I'm Jim Connor. Today we're here in Tallinn, Estonia, as part of our Game Changers X program. We're visiting the Latitude 59 conference, and I'm currently here with Triin Kask, who's going to talk to us a little about the startup community, what's going on in Tallinn and in Estonia in general, and your experience as a startup entrepreneur. So welcome to the show, Triin.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to meet you today. You have a mobile application, so let's start out with a little bit of an overview of your mobile development application, which is part of Greenhouse CI, correct?
So actually, what we do is that we help other mobile app developers build their apps. So we do not build apps per se, but we are like a specific tool for mobile app developers. So with using Greenhouse CI, they actually increase their productivity a lot, and they save a lot of time and money. And also, it's not just saving time and money, it's actually we provide this time that developers need to do what they most love, which is building apps.
Right.
And
so let me ask you then, the apps, you're creating essentially a middleware library that developers do their part in terms of creating a user interface and some experience. Then the code makes these calls to your library and then is essentially set up to work with the appropriate platform, be it iOS, Android, or other platforms. How many platforms do you support?
Yeah, so we've seen that developers are really looking for hybrid apps as well, like Ionic.
What is a hybrid app?
So that you can actually develop your app on different platforms. So it's not just natives, but also, different platforms at the same time. So you have this like hybrid. Most of the developers still develop purely on native apps, iOS and Android. But we're seeing that, in this sense that they really want to be more effective and build the apps quicker, they need this hybrid platform so that if they do something, it suits for everything. So for that, you have this hybrid app platforms.
I see. A broader, more generic library, essentially.
Yes,
good.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about the startup environment here.
Yeah.
I think this is your second company.
Yep.
And what led you to decide you wanted to be a startup entrepreneur?
I think that this is, what most entrepreneurs say, that they have had this funny feeling inside them, for a long time, that they don't want to work in a corporation, or if they do work in a larger company, then they feel this anxiety that they actually want to do something themselves. So I also have had this feeling saying that I don't want to work from 8 to 5. I want to do something. I want to change something. I want to work on some real problem. I want to do something meaningful. So these kind of like unconscious thoughts have been leading me to the startup scene here.
And did you work in a corporation first, or did you go right to the scene?
Yeah, well, each time, I went to some job interview, I got into the top 2. Was it a bank? Was it like a service company? And each time they turned me down. And I was thinking, okay, it's actually a good sign because probably I'm meant for something else. And it turned out to be entrepreneurship,
yeah.
Which I'm so glad about.
Uh-huh. And where did you get your technical background from to do this?
Actually, I'm just fond of technology, but I'm not a developer myself. Mm-hmm. So in our company, I'm supporting the business side. I'm bringing, the out-of-box viewpoint to a very techy solution, which is oriented to a really hard target segment. It's really complicated. How do you market and sell your product to developers? They are very, critical against marketing, because if you just go plainly with AdWords, then they just shut you down. They don't want to see you anymore.
How old is the company, and how many people do you have in the company now?
So we launched the company in July last year, so it's almost a year now, and we have 8 people in the team.
8 people, that's great. Now, many of the startup environments essentially have stock options for the team. Is this a standard approach or design here in Estonia for startup companies?
To
have stock options within the team.
Definitely. Yeah. This is what we also see, how you can actually get really talented people into the team. And in Estonia, you have very many talented people.
You do. And how does this happen? Is it just that there's a lot of bright people, and the corporate jobs are not the most attractive, and therefore people are willing to take this avenue?
I think that it's about the smallness of this country. It's in this sense it's I think similar to Silicon Valley. That the knowledge transfer it transfers so quickly. So we're so related or connected to each other. The distances are not big between people, and people when they find something interesting, then they focus into the same thing, they go into the same places, they talk to the same people, and the knowledge just transfers, and also the excitement and the whole mindset.
So do you have any investors in the company, or are you doing this organically? Go ahead.
So we do have investors. For our pre-seed fund, we got investors from Estonia, local angel investors, and the best ones, of course. And
I would hope so.
yes. Well, no doubt.
Yeah.
And also currently we are raising our seed round, and now we're looking for experienced investors from outside Estonia who really understand the SaaS business and B2B business and actually what we do.
Okay. So what are the next big challenges for the company in your mind over the next 6 to 12 months?
That's a really good question. If we only knew the solutions, we do know the challenges, but we are so much eager to find the solutions. But the challenges are, of course, related to how to get to the hockey stick. How to get the growth up, and how to actually find the channel, the sales tactics. So it's about experimenting a lot, and it might be quite tiring, but you actually have to do it. It's a roller coaster.
You mentioned, getting to the end here, that you didn't care for the 8 to 5 job, but I got the sense that you do work a lot more than 40 hours a week.
Yes, I do. And I think that it's just, how to say, finding the balance. And very often it's not even, that you try to separate your home or your spare time and then work life. I kind of have integrated this into one whole life. So this is my life. I'm not saying it's my work or this is my startup. This is where my life begins. It's all one whole life.
That's great. That's great. Well, Triin, let's give our audience a way to contact you at Greenhouse CI, and perhaps your email and the website, if anybody would like to follow up with you, that being people who need the application or just have an interest in talking to you or the company.
Yeah, sure. So my email is triin@greenhouseci.com, and the website is greenhouseci.com.
That's pretty simple.
And actually, we also appreciate if people follow us at Twitter at Greenhouse CI, because this is where the latest news come from.
Great. Well, Triin, you're really an excellent spokesperson for the entrepreneur community here.
Thank you.
And it's amazing. I'll just say this. We just bumped into you over lunch, happened to share a table. You're sitting next to us, and the more we talked, we said, well, let's have you come on and talk to our audience a little bit about the Estonian entrepreneur movement. So I want to thank you for your time. I wish you every success going forward, and we'd love to hear from you in the future.
Thank you, Jim.
This is Jim Conner. Thank you for joining us for this segment on Game Changers X. You can follow us on our website, gamechangers.tv, Facebook, or Twitter. We look forward to your continued interest and participation in upcoming shows.